Right, I'm going to attempt to build a Kibri 39151 HO scale kit. Looks like that. Really nice box actually, really nice picture on it. Kibri are owned by Weissman, because Weissman bought them out a few years back. So, got some really nice pictures on the side. Right, let's have a look at the back. Gives you some accessory details for lights, and there's a light, individual light for one window. You can add one of them in. You can get these for most interior buildings to make it look. I'll just black out the light shield on the inside, on on the Thalia buildings, etc. But that's another way you can do it. Plastic little casing that goes around the window. Anyway, open it up. In the box we've got multiple languages, and let's have a quick look. Instructions and the drawings look really nice. Easy to follow, and it gives you the mounting for the gearbox, the motor, which I've got. There's some extra parts inside the motor. The motor for the kit looks like that, and there's some extra pieces in there to do various kits. So yeah, the actual, I'm pretty surprised because it's quite big, this, the actual main walkway of it. Bigger than I thought it was going to be. And I like the way these are cast as well in one piece, so you don't have to mess around gluing all these together, which is sometimes the case, and that just slots on there somehow. So get all these bits out. Really nice castings. I'm going to do some stonework on this. I'm going to highlight this stonework. It looks really nice. I say, all the castings look really good. So I'm going to get all these out now anyway. Citadel precise cutters. So I'm going to get number one, the base. Yeah, what's really good is there's a lot of very good large castings here. There's not a lot of gluing on this kit, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is get on quite unusual the way this is going in. So you've got your pegs there, you can see those little tiny pegs. I don't know if you can see them, but there's those little tiny pegs, and you just sort of push them together. It's strange. That lines it up pretty much perfectly. Pretty sure, I mean, look at that, that's pretty impressive, that. there's pegs on the bottom that line up so you can get it perfect inside. And that's it, you just glue that, making sure everything is how it should be on the drawing, so that looks good. And I'm going to glue that onto the base now. Can't believe how that just pops in like that without gluing it. That is ingenious. Could probably add a bit of glue if you wanted to, just be on the safe side, but that's pretty damn sturdy. Doesn't really need any glue. I can't get my head around where you don't really need glue. You just pop the windows in, pop the glazing in, and then just pop the window frames in, and that's it. You know, I've never come across that before on a kit. It's just bizarre. And no glue means no mess or spilt glue, less fumes. Brilliant way that goes together. Castings are just perfect. These kits are just really well worth the money. It's just brilliant. Oops, it's child's play. Yeah, it's pop them in. That's it. The glazing's in. A bit of rattling like because they're moving around a bit, but other than that, when it's static, it doesn't matter. That's that done. Yeah, so if you're having a motor, you can assemble it. You can assemble it to be free spinning with a cog system without a motor. Which it shows there, but if you want the motor, then you install the motor onto the base plate. That looks pretty straightforward, hopefully. So I'll get the motor out. In the motor, there's extra bits in here there's actually extra plastic parts, instructions, extra shafts and stuff, so I'm going to keep these bits in a container and put the instructions back for now. And this is the motor, so I'm going to mount the motor onto the motor base. So that's the next thing to do, and I'm going to use that. So the two parts you need for the base and then the motor, which I'm going to take out the bag. So that's a windmill base. The motor just pulls out. There's two cutouts going to the two pegs on there. That slides on, pushes forward, and then there's a little cutout on the sides for it to slide the motor in. Hang on. That's it. The motor's in, and that's it. You don't glue it in case you need to change it. Simple, but you've got to line it up and understand how to line it up. It's quite tricky. So that's the motor. I've got to extend the motor wires, which I'm going to have to do in a bit. Yeah, so connected a long wire up so I can get it to a switch decoder to power the motor, and the motor goes in like that. I'll just do a zoom on that, or I'll take a few pictures. Just do a zoom in on that. There you go, that's how it goes in. It's strange how it goes in. It goes in at an angle. Still not sure if that's right, to tell you the truth. Well, it says not to glue it in, so it's just loosely fitted. So anyway, I'll find out and see what it's like when it's up and running. Now, the motor is designed to be loosely fitted, not glued in, so it can be easily replaced with part breaks, etc. So that just all slides into position and it goes in at an angle. It's come through, it lines up with that little there's a little cut out there where the shaft goes through, so it's quite delicate. It's quite a fiddly little thing to line up, but once you understand how it lines up, it's quite easy. You just got to make sure you don't break. I broke off one of the lugs inside. Inside there's a lug, so I've had to glue that base plate in. But it means I can still change the motor, because that top just clips on. Sorry, that top just goes on like that, so I've just got to put the shaft on next. And yeah, that's the next stage. Right, after about 20 attempts in breaking the lugs on the top of this section that goes, because you've got to take that on and off multiple times. You've got to widen the hole. I've made that hole probably 75% bigger, probably 100% bigger actually, because there's no way the shaft would spin. It just kept catching. I've had to chamfer it on the inside. The motor is lined up as perfectly as it can be, and it's glued in place now. I could not, in the instructions it says don't glue in, but I've had to glue it. So now it's working freely, but it's just such a poor design, the way it installs and goes in. It's not good at all. But if that breaks, I've made it easy, so I've only tacked it with glue there in one position. That's not glued in, that back window, so the top can come off, but even then it's going to be really difficult to get the motor out because I've had to glue it in. Yeah, so not impressed with this, the motor assembly at all. The kit itself, I think is great, but the castings are superb, but the motor install, terrible. Right, I think that's all dry, ready to go in. That just simple wire's got to feed through the bottom into there. Just take that out through the bottom. That's it. And basically that section just pushes. You can position that any way you want really, but that just clips on, which is good. Got to line up. Like I say, the main kit is really good. If you just want it in manual mode, it's when you want to install a motor, that's where things go pear-shaped. There we go, that's all done. Just need to add that roof onto that section there actually. Just a couple of dabs of glue. That's the main part done. I just hope that motor still works because I've been messing around with the top of that for ages. Test the motor. Yeah, motor's still working. It's so delicate, the top motor housing in there is so delicate to damage. So there we go, that's how that's going to go. Right, so that's all the struts in place. There's 3 different types of struts to put on. You've got the corner ones, and you've got the centre ones, which are slightly different because they've got an extra peg to locate in a hole, and then you've got 8 of these ones either side of the centre ones. That's it. Just going to try and put a bit of wash over this now. A bit more wash. Use a wide fan brush like that. That's all I've used to weather the model, and just put some wash, thin it down, dry brush it on, just drag effects over it, make it look like it's worn and weathered. Just give it that sort of old look, like it's been there for a long time. If you get any paint on any other areas, just go over it again afterwards. But I'm doing now. Just do the handrails. Get a nice sort of 3D sort of weathered look, so they don't have to be perfect. But the wide fan brushes are brilliant for this because they get into all sorts of areas quickly. And do it at pretty fast speed. And like I say, you don't have to be perfect. The acrylic thinner, thin down standard acrylic paint, whatever it might be. It's looking alright. I've done the deck already. Could go over the deck again actually, but I think I'm happy with that now anyway, so. There we go. That's looking quite okay now. That's a could airbrush it, but I haven't got time messing around with airbrush at the moment. There we go. Well, there we go, it's all installed, and pretty happy with it the way it looks. It's quite a large kit, it's quite tall as well. I love the way the kit went together. The kit itself I'd give 9 out of 10. For the kit, the castings, the way they go together, really nice. It's just the motor install which is really struggle with that. But anyway, I've got it in and it's working really nice and smooth. And it's working about the same speed as the wind turbine, so because I've got it on the same decoder, I'll just pan it around to the wind turbine. the distance there. So that works at the same speed because it's wired into the same accessory decoder, and it's got the same motor in that wind turbine as what's in the windmill. So yeah, but to make it work slower on the windmill, what I'm going to do is add a resistor, or just install another cheap ESU decoder, wire it into the track, and just treat it as another loco. But it's quite therapeutic watching it go around. Quite like watching it. It's quite nice, and yeah, looks good. Without the wash and without the paint work I applied, it did look quite plasticky, but still okay. Obviously I changed the sails. The sails were a dark brown and changed them to a lighter brown, so it looks stand out a little bit more. You can install a light. I might install a light, I'm not sure yet. Probably will do. So that's it. Thanks again for watching. Sorry if I bored people on this video because it's quite long. Do apologise.